Welcome to Bless Your Heart, a special segment of Sunday Night Live where verses are stitched back into context with some love. I am your host, Trenton Barksdale, and I look forward to enjoying some time with you. Let's sit for a while. Howdy folks, welcome back to another episode. Today we are discussing a verse you probably have seen quoted and popularized by a lot of people. You probably saw it worn on certain football players' eye black. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Tim Tebow, when you played for the Florida Gators. If you haven't guessed by now, it is Philippians chapter 4 and in verse 13. If you didn't get a chance to listen to our episode, Doing All Things Out of Context, the link to the episode will be in the description for both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13, as well as all of the verses that we have discussed up until now, are such that people have used, still use, and will continue to use in such a way that promote ideas, teachings, and practices that are not actually biblical. It's my hope and prayer that up until this point we have been able to see how such has happened and that context has been restored. Again, if you have any verses that you would like to see addressed in future episodes, comment below on Facebook or on YouTube so that we can continue this series. Even if you disagree with what I say, send me a message and or contact me in some way so we can study these things together. Again, let's read together in our Bibles. Let's go to Philippians chapter 4 and in verse 13. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13 says the following: I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Far too often there are many people who will use this verse to teach a prosperity gospel. However, Paul was in prison at this point, and even though he was imprisoned, he was not going to let these circumstances get him down. In fact, Paul was telling the Philippian church that he had found the secret to contentment. It wasn't their giving to him. It wasn't necessarily the fact that he didn't have anything either. Our verse in question shows that he found contentment and strength in Christ. The Philippian church was one of the poorer ones, mind you. However, they were willing to give aid to Paul time and time again. He even tells the brethren there he received the gift they sent while he was in jail. Let's read the surrounding verses now with this in mind. Philippians 4, starting in verse 10. But I rejoiced in the Lord greatly that now at last you have revived thinking about me. Indeed, you were thinking about me before, but you lacked opportunity. Not that I speak from want, for I learned to be content in whatever circumstances I am. I know how to get along with humble means, and I know also how to live in abundance. In any and all things, I have learned the secret of being filled and going hungry, both of having abundance and suffering need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Nevertheless, you have done well to fellowship with me in my affliction. Now we can see why it's been taken out of context. It's not saying that I can win every sporting event or even have $1 billion in my bank account. What he is saying is that I can find contentment, knowing that Jesus is my strength in any and every circumstance. Can you say that? If not, reach out to me, and I will be more than happy to help you with this. Thank you for your kind attention. Which verse do you think we should consider next? Comment below or send us a message on Facebook or Discord with your suggestions. Y'all come back now. Here